Religion can comfort people. Some would say similar comfort comes from crossing your fingers, touching wood, or reciting a mantra. Many things can bring comfort. Lies, blocking uncomforting thoughts from your mind. Drugs, there's food that comforts. Kind friends, good books, walks in the countryside, a quiet reflection lying under the stars. Accepting reality with dignity and humour, that's comforting. Religion is one of the many things that can offer some comfort, but it's not the best, and it's not necessary in your life. Religion has hijacked its role as the great comforter, and in return has given an inferior quality of comfort to its followers. And of all of the instances of religious hijacking of normal human experiences, for me this one of comfort is perhaps the most heartbreaking of all. For millennia, religious people have bought into all the other bankrupt stock of the religious clerics because something deep inside their unsuspecting guts resonated deeply with the idea that without religion there'd be no comfort during those times of hardship, pain and death. And this resonates even with many non-religious people, who commonly assume that religion does comfort people, and thereby justifies its existence to some extent. I believe it does so in the same sense that the existence of lies justifies a doctor telling a dying woman that there's nothing wrong with her. Whatever comfort religion might have given over time, it's a second-class inferior form of comfort. People have been grossly short-changed. Now once again, religion has hijacked something profoundly natural and human, not profoundly religious and godly. The birthright of each of us, not something to be dispensed by clerics. This has been allowed to happen on the one hand because of a simple lack of understanding, but on the other because it was a deliberate, self-interested lie on the part of the otherwise bankrupt clerics. When we're actually suffering hardship, pain or loss, we're not aware that we have an innate ability to step outside religious indoctrination. Our judgment is impeded by the mental and emotional confusion that such difficult times bring. Yet when we're not suffering, when we should have time to think about this important area, we have our ignorance reinforced by repetition of religious dogma, and thus continue quite unaware that there's a much better alternative there all along, unnoticed by the ordinary religious person, and either deliberately unmentioned by the closet atheist clerics, or equally unknown to the few clerics who do actually believe the dogma that they peddle. Religion conditions us from childhood that it is our sole comfort for this life and the next, when difficult times come, like when a mother is told she has a terminal disease that will snatch her away and she'll not see her beautiful young twins grow up into beautiful young adults. That without the comfort of religion, you'd be horribly alone, no guiding angel, no loving Jesus or Muhammad, no heaven where you can wait for your beautiful children, no compensation for all the suffering in this life. A clever double bluff that makes us so afraid of losing non-existent things that we both fail to question their very existence, and consequently rarely discover that we already have within us all the natural resources needed to comfort ourselves and others in the first place. A discovery that would of course obviate, get rid of, the need for all the additional paraphernalia of hellish sticks and heavenly carrots peddled by the religious stallholders. Dubious about this? Well, who do you think benefits from a situation where you and I are urged to believe that deep and real comfort can only come from religion? Who else but the clerics? Our continued blind subscription to their half-cocked notions of human comfort has paid their wages for thousands of years. We keep buying what they're selling to us, and selling to us they are. And what price do we pay? The price is our lives, nothing less. Get that straight from the start. Every precious, independent and dignified part of our one and only life, that's the price for their half-baked comfort. Dogmatically reinforced religious lies that only permit the victims, you and me, to think up to a certain point and no further. To realize the need for comfort, then to be told the only source is via whatever version of religion you were born into. Religion came in and set up its garish stall right in the middle of the otherwise wide and open road. By doing so, it fooled its flocks that there was no road behind the back of its market stall. Indeed, they make us believe it's a cul-de-sac, and that the stall they set up there was the last port of call, the only hope before the other side of the wall, where the bottomless pit awaited you unless you sought comfort from the stallholders, who would dispense wings, once you're dead of course, for a price, before you're dead of course, so that you can fly above the inferno and reach the place of rest and peace and eternal reward for all your sufferings, many of which were caused and maintained by religion. And you doubt this? Read the appalling suffering all around the world because of AIDS and other horrendous sexually transmitted diseases that's being directly caused by the Christian Church's unforgivable objection to condom use. Think about Mother Teresa's comforting words that women are born to suffer, and that the greatest sin of all is abortion. Think about the poorest people in the world, who still have to give money to the upkeep of their church or mosque, rather than putting food in their children's mouths. The present, the now, is all we have. This hour, this minute, this second. And the dying mother holding her two twins already has the greatest thing that she could ever have. She has this one precious hour with them. Probably the next hour, and maybe quite a lot more hours. And when she realizes the miracle that life is, and how the chances were so stacked up against her being the one sitting in that chair nursing those two delightful girls, well, then she'll feel the joy of all the stolen moments she's had. And her twins will die one day as well. And helping them to know this fact, when they're still young, is one of the greatest gifts that she could ever give them, so that their open young minds and hearts know to enjoy every moment as though it were their last, to breathe in every scent, revel in the touch of the warm sun and the cold rain, love long and forgive short, in their turn to help other people to live in the now, to cherish what we have, we vulnerable self-conscious creatures, and in turn to help their children create a society full of people who accept that each of them is incredibly fortunate to be alive at all, for the fleeting twinkling of an eye that we have on this blue dot in the immensity of space. To revel in the fact that this is it. Our shared experience of our achingly beautiful yet terribly frail life is everything that we can ever have. That's not just the source of the real comfort. It is the real comfort. If you can just creep past the religious stalls and look along that long road that they say doesn't exist, and calm yourself long enough to let this realization fill your mind and heart, you'll know that it makes such sense. The most precious thing that each of us has is ourselves and each other, our individual yet fortunately shared experience of being alive, the rise and fall of the lungs, the beat of the heart, the little camera of our minds sensing what's around us, experiencing things that were there before we experienced them and will be there long after we've stopped doing so. We are windows on the universe. We are the blind universe seeing itself. Religiously crossing our fingers, holding our breath, closing our eyes to the present in hope of a future for which, no matter how much you protest, we really don't have the slightest demonstration of its existence. This is a poor substitute for real, natural human comfort, the comfort so generously delivered by that awareness of the now, of contact with our shared reality. Claim back the now in your life. By doing so, you'll claim back your whole life, your past, present and future. You'll be a bigger person and a happier person, more able to understand and endure suffering, receiving more comfort from your engagement with your own present than you ever could from any impish imam or parasitic priest. Unless our own stupidity stops us, we're now potentially entering an era in human history when most physical and even mental suffering will be understood and treatable, even avoidable. This is not thanks to the Jesuses and Mohammeds of the world. It's because of ordinary people studying, researching and working on the issues and challenges of today, of the now. I hope we can enter a time when our children, from their first words, will speak of reality, that they will find only second-hand comfort in the vicarious death of a probably non-existent first-century Palestinian, or in the bitter-sweet cacophony of the puerile rantings of a bunch of 7th-century Arabs, that all the hollow future promises of heavenly reward are just that, empty, in comparison with the reality where we own every single second, hour and year of our life. After all, our life is our only true possession, and it is of course the best thing we could ever own, the only thing of which all of us can claim unique ownership. That having money or status or cars or computers, friends or a long and healthy life are the bonuses that they can look forward to enjoying, but the lack of which does not take away the core and most important possession of all, which is their humanity, their very existence. Claim back your life. So if you've been told that religion can give comfort, nod in agreement if you wish, but don't nod for too long. Religion at its best can only give a fabrication of comfort. Repeatedly shown to be bankrupt in the present, it retreats into an imaginary future where pots of gold are aplenty and the rivers run with honey. Religious comfort can never compete on an equal footing with the depth of comfort derived from something that's unquestionably real within you. And remember, other creatures naturally have a need for and know how to give comfort to. And that's a very uncomfortable reality for those of us who want to believe the silly stories they created that make out the whole universe revolves around one single species out of thousands. And my questions to you are these. Who would you prefer to be? A person who needs a doctor to lie to you about your terminal cancer, or a person who can take the truth with dignity and humour? Which will really give you more comfort? Reaching out for the clammy hand of some pale cleric, or standing proud as an inspiration to your loved ones and showing that you, and they by example, have the strength within you to face your mortality and live every precious moment that you have left to you?